know that a single leak AWS access keys can cost your company $100,000 in overnight? Yes, you heard it right. But it can be stopped before it even starts if you know the right use of IAM. So today we are going to master AWS IAM Identity and Access Management. If you are going to work in the cloud security or starting your cloud journey, then IAM is the absolute foundation for you. So I will going to cover how you can lock your cloud using user roles and policies so that you will never get such nightmare AWS bill. And in the future upcoming videos, I will also going to cover some advanced concepts of IAM such as federated user, AWS, single sign-on, permission boundary, SPs, and many good concepts. So hi, welcome to Tech with Shristi. I am Shristi and working as a cloud security consultant. And on this channel, I will be sharing the deep dive concepts of the AWS and the cloud security concepts so that you can ace your technical interviews and build a secure cloud architecture. Yeah, so let's start with our today's concept, that is AWS IAM, Identity Access Management. So think of AWS as your corporate office building. Okay, so in your building, like, you have multiple departments right there. As a suppose an R&D department, there's some network team, there's some cloud team, and different department would be there, or different client projects would be there. So they have different separate building. Okay, so we have a main door, and when we enter into our building, then we first what we do, we authenticate to our we punch in with our swipe in card so that we will get the building entrance access. And once we get inside our building, then based on our project, our building, a specific building area, we punch in there again to get inside to our working zone, right? So think of same as the AWS cloud also. Okay, so here we have like the machine to check if you have the access to the building. We have security guard also. So same for getting the access to the cloud, we have the concept of this AWS IAM. Okay, so this is one of the service in the AWS which will manage all the authentication, authorization related things for all the users who wanted to do any activity in the AWS cloud. Okay, so basically this IAM, it will offer 4 things to work feasibly. That is, first is user, group, roles, policies. Having the idea of all these 4 can master you in the IAM. There is a lot more deep concepts in IAM too, that is federated user, single sign-on, single token service. I will cover all of these in the later videos, but first we will start with basics so that you have the clear understanding of all the components of the IAM. Okay, so let's quickly jump to the user and group first. So you can consider as user and group as the front door, like how we have the security guard or the punching machine in the office. Same like user and group you can consider as the first door. Okay, so a user can be any person, it can be any application. Okay, so they have like long-term credentials, like they have the username, password, or they have access keys to log into their AWS account. Like if they work through not through the UI, they are working through the CLI command, then basically they use AWS access keys for doing any activity in the AWS cloud. So a user we create so that we can have access to the AWS. For that, you can simply go to the AWS website and create an account there. Then you will get some username or password, and you will also get 2 access keys also by default. Okay, so this is as a single user if we consider, then this is the thing. But if we are working in an organization, okay, so suppose in an organization we have a different group, a developer group, a tester group, QA team. Okay, so what we have to do, like there are some policies. Okay, I will not go to policies. Like there are some restriction, like developer have some restriction on what are the activities that developer can do, what are the activities that a tester can do, and what are the activities that QA can do. It's not like an activity is there which a developer can perform, and sometimes, like suppose delete bucket, then that tester can't perform. And if it is required that developer also have with specific permission, they can perform any such privileged activities. Okay, so for that suppose we have like 100 of users in our organization, but we want to ask a specific group of users for a specific group of task. Then how we will go, not go one by one, right? So we'll create a group of those users.
we will create a group of those users, and then we will assign the task to the group directly, not as an individual contributor we will assign. So for that we are creating the IAM group in our service. I will give you the demo of all these things so that you will get the better clear view of these services. Okay, so we have the different group, developer, tester, so that we can assign a same category of task to a single group. Okay, this is user and group. Next it comes to the role. Role you will consider as like temporary access. Now pay attention to this role part, because people usually get the confusion with the understanding of this role component only. So unlike a user, like user will have long-term credential, they have username, password, everything, but a role will not have any long-term password. They will not have any long-term password or access keys. They have a temporary access. What I mean by temporary access here then? So suppose you have an application running on an EC2 instance, that is a server in AWS, and you want to have any connection with the storage service there in AWS, like S3, you want to have connection with that. So for this machine to authenticate with this S3, it can't directly authenticate because both are different services in cloud. So every service need to authenticate with the other service. Okay, so for that this EC2 needs to authenticate for this storage. So we can't give a hard-coded credential to this EC2 instance machine, this server machine, whatever it is. So we can't give any hard-code user password into that application. That will be a security risk involved there. So instead we can create a role that will have some permission to work on this S3. Okay, and that role will be like a temporary. Because it is temporary, it will be secure, and we can rotate automatically. We can rotate this role. What it mean by rotating the role, and also in demo part it will be clear to you. More understanding you will get in the demo part. So for a temporary time of access, we create a role to assume the temporary access for other service. So in that case we are creating the role. Okay, then comes the policies part. Policies is basically you can say as it is a rule book. So whatever user you have created, group you have created, roles you have created. Okay, so how we will tell that AWS what they actually have to do in the AWS. So for that we have this rule book named as a policy service. So it is a kind of like a JSON document. Okay, kind of a JSON document where we will say there are some script is there, then here like what is the effect it will be allow or deny, or which resource it will be work on, what are the action based on this policy. And what it does, like if we attach this policy to the user, by default the user that we have created in our account, like we have an AWS account. Okay, under that root we have created root, whoever will create an AWS account, they will be classified as a root user. Okay, then under that account I will create some user. Okay, multiple user I will create based on my organization need. So by default this user don't have access to do anything in AWS. Then what is the use of this user? They have to do something, right? So but what they can do, it will be decided based on the policies attached to this user. So who will create this policy? There are, like I will tell in the later video about the policies also, like there are some policies which AWS create itself, there are some policies which we create also. Okay, so either AWS create or we also create policies. So in the policies there are some basic structure which they follow to define the required things. Then we attach this policy to user, and in policy whatever things we are mentioning, those activities are only allowed to that user. And if we create a group also, and suppose in a group we have like suppose 20 employees are there and they have created a single group as developer, then assigning individual policies to a user, we assign that policy to the group itself. Then all the user will inherit that policy. That's also one of the basic need of creating the group, to not managing individual users, instead managing the users in a single group also. Okay, Then comes the, we have explained you the user group roles and policies in a very concise way. I have explained. In the further upcoming videos, I will go in detail of all this with the demo also. Then it comes in the security part, it's come the main concepts of the list privilege. By this term only you will get its understanding. List privilege means the minimum access you have to give to someone to perform any activity. Suppose there are some developer who want to store some files, some objects on the storage account, that is S3 bucket in AWS. So in that case, if you just give the full access of S3 to these developers, then it is not right. Okay, because suppose they have accidentally or intentionally or unintentionally may have deleted they have performed the action of delete S3, then our bucket will itself delete, because without any approval or anything. So we should not give a full time not give the full access of any service to any developer unless it's like required. So we always follow the concept of least privilege. So only the things that a specific user required to perform any action on any service, those specific action only we will allow to that user. So how we will allow to that specific services, that those specific things only we used to mention in the policy. Under action, we mention what are the things they have to do, and we mention some resources, like on what resources these actions they can perform, and there are multiple other things also in the policy. Okay, so this list privilege we used to follow for the better security reason. Okay, I think that's all for this video. In the next video, maybe I will cover the demo part of creating these basic things, and then in the upcoming later videos, I will in detail will tell you about policies, because policies is something like a very important thing in AWS. If you know creating a policy, that's a very good thing, and otherwise you can like have AWS itself have their policies, so you can modify those and learn those things. So that is a very important concept like that I will be covering in the next or upcoming videos. Okay.
Mastering IAM takes practice, but understanding the users, groups, roles, and policies were the basics. And in the next video, I will give you the demo of how to create the user groups and policies, and then we will cover the policy structure in detail. So if you have liked this video, then please hit the subscribe button. This is my new channel, and stay tuned for the upcoming deep dive in the security.